Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemophilepod.com. Mickey faces a deadly diagnosis, but she isn't ready to die yet. Heading into the woods with her father, she seeks dark magic at the hands of a mysterious recluse, Solveig, who has an intimate relationship with death and the roots that go deep into the land. The film is called Mother of Flies. We're joined today by one of the most creative and innovative and fun-loving family of filmmakers that I know of, John Adams, Zelda Adams, and Toby Poser. To all of you, welcome back to Cinemophile.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
I was talking with you last time, so this is nice to be back.
Yeah, you were on for Hellbender and had such a good time with the film. And there's something about your filmmaking that from Hellbender to this it feels different, it looks different. And I'm going to ask a filmmaker question right out of the gate. I'll ask what inspired this story, but it just feels like, did you shoot this on a high def? What did you shoot this on in high def camera? The film just looks brighter to me than I expected.
Yeah, we shot it on a different camera. We shot it on a Canon C70, which is just one step above the 5D that we have used for all of our other movies. And yes, the clarity, it's like 4K, so it's kind of incredible, the clarity of it. But one of the things that we were excited about was shooting a summer movie, a very bright movie, making a very bright horror movie. Usually you get to hide in the shadows and hide in the dark and but this time we wanted to show like the power of horror unfolding in the light.
Thank you. Because I kept thinking that it has a different feel to it, and there you go. That's it. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this story, because all of your films and a lot of horror films are rooted in immortality, the idea of the powers beyond what we can see and feel, and we feel them, but we don't know them, quote unquote, in sort of a way that you can quantify, but we know they exist. And I think that's what your films have, in many ways, have tapped into that. And a lot of horror films do. They effectively do that. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind Mother of Flies. Toby.
So John and I have both had cancer, and right before when we were planning to shoot a new film, Zelda discovered she carries the gene for the same cancer syndrome that I have. So we decided it might be a powerful thing to just make a movie about this subject that so many people know. You can't throw a stone without hitting someone who isn't affected by cancer. So we decided to tell the story through the beautiful lens of horror and on our own terms, and discuss both the power behind the strive to live and also the peace of death.
That in the opening, we see a visual representation of that, pretty graphic representation. Zelda, and just from what I would just heard from Toby, tell me a little bit about your preparation for this role. In so many ways, you carry the spectrum of our feelings in the film with you. You really did a great job. I just want to compliment you on your performance. But tell me a little bit about what went into your preparation with all this sort of background swirling around.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. That really means a lot. Also, just because I think this is my favorite role I've ever done. I loved it so much. And I got to know a lot about my parents and their experiences with cancer too through exploring this role. Because we had a lot of conversations about what it was like and how we were going to translate that into our film and how important it was to, yeah, show the fear and sadness that comes with knowing that death is a possibility in your life, but also the importance to be like brave and confident and to have belief. I think, yeah, our films are constantly just a reflection of what's going on in our life. It was the same with Hellbender. That was a coming of age story in a time that, I felt like I was becoming a young woman. And this film, it felt like it was time to tackle a story of a really hard topic of cancer, especially since I found out I had this thing called Lynch syndrome. And we were like, you know what? It's time. Let's do this and let's take power of this scary topic and find empowerment.
Wow. And that is so much of the attraction of horror films is exploring the unknown and finding agency, finding power in our ability to either better understand what we don't understand, or at least come to a point where we accept there are things that we'll never know, but they impact our lives in ways. And I say this almost all the time, so I am repeating myself, I know, but one of the other things about horror films that I've been struck by, I think more than any other genre of film, is the investment of the audience. It comes through so often, and I think part of it is the relatability to our inability to understand the world around us, and that sort of you buy in to that. But also as an audience member, often, not so much the case in this film, but often you know more than the characters in the film. You kind of you're in on a lot of the things that maybe that the people in they're experiencing the story wouldn't know. This isn't so much about that, but it is really truly taps into that power of the unknown and birth and death. There's just a lot here.
Well, I just love what you're saying because that's why I love horror so much because it is a therapeutic experience both creating it but also viewing it too. And one of my favorite things that my mom always says is that horror is this safe playing ground for your worst nightmares because you're able to watch it and experience something so terrifying to you, but you're safe in the comfort of your own bed or the theater that you're watching it in. So.
Yeah, yeah. And John, your scenes with Zelda in the film, your interaction, I really liked the the back and forth. First of all, I thought the way you played off of one another, but there was a degree of honesty, and some of it comes from being a member of your same family. But I just felt like there was a real connection. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I thought that your scenes together were just terrific. The way that
Well, thank you so
you
much.
yeah,
You know what? These are all conversations. This script is basically just taken from real conversations that we've had, real stories about our experiences with fighting for our life and fighting for love and all that kind of stuff. And Zelda is my real daughter. I do worry about her. She worries about me. So when we really did get to just sit there and experience and talk about real stuff, but on film. And that's one of the things that I want to say that we love about being a part of the horror community. It's a very open-minded and very open-hearted community that does talk about things like PTSD or cancer or violence or so many things, but we all talk about it in a human way. It's a great community to communicate. We were communicating our relationship. And it was a real joy that people have picked up on it and are feeling it and relating to it.
yeah. Just quickly want to remind our listeners that Mother of Flies is being released through Shudder, which I believe many of your films have been on this Shudder, if I'm not mistaken, on January 23rd. So be looking for this. Is there any theatrical release that should I know about?
Not yet. We are having a special screening on January 21st at the IFC Center in New York City. But that's all we know so far.
And
Okay.
also, one of the things that we've loved about, Shutter's really generous to us. We do a big festival tour. So in one sense, our theatrical is going to festivals all over the world, all over the United States, and actually getting to meet people and our friends, and they become our friends. And that's why we make movies, is for that reason.
Oh, I was going to get to that because it looks like just one giant party when you look at the credits for the film. I mean, you see all the people, the different hats that everyone's wearing. All you can tell this must be a real gathering of the tribe, if you will, when you all get
Yeah.
together to do a film. Looks like a lot of fun. Toby, I want to talk to you about your performance because, and you've done this throughout your career, but I mean, you really have refined the art of the, uh, in this case, Miss Solveig,
So
to refine the art of the mystery behind what you're saying, the embodiment of, you really embody this sort of spirit of what you see on screen. And also watching this film, another thing going back kind of the filmmaking part of it, I was struck by how much This film reminds me, there's Ben Wheatley does a lot of, he's an English filmmaker. He does a lot of sort of folklore horror. And this film reminds me a lot of his work. The idea of the English have refined the art of this folklore kind of horror genre. And I mean, I just felt like there's this sort of conversation between that genre, that particular filmmaker, and this one. In the sense, I just felt this overlap, and I'm a big fan of Ben Wheatley, so and you really do truly embody this kind of spirit, this mystery of what we don't know, and what you're going to unveil for us, reveal for us. You do a beautiful job of that.
Thank you so much. And wow, that's so neat. Yeah, we're familiar with Ben Wheatley and his work as well. But that's so much fun because we do love folk horror. We live in the woods. We live on a mountain in the woods. And so nature is always our main actress. And we defer to her all the time, whether it's the light, the carcasses we find in her bosom. We are big nature fans, and Solveig was such a thrill to play because she really is the ambassador for death. She's human, but she's the human ambassador for death.
Yeah.
And her understanding and appreciation and her death work was so exciting to play with in this film and building the mythology, the witchcraft, the spell work. I really enjoyed it.
Well, congratulations on your body of work. And again, going back to Hellbender, our introduction, and to this, I see more layers to the work. I just see you're better and better at what you've been doing and what you will continue. I'm sure you will continue to do. And thank you. The film is called Mother of Flies. It's being released on January 23rd on Shudder. Be looking for it. Shudder is such a great platform.
Shudder's amazing.
Yeah. So to your point about the festivals and going on the road with their work, I look forward to that. We've been speaking with the co-directors, John Adams, Zelda Adams, and Toby Poser, and screenwriters, John Adams, Zelda Adams, and Toby Poser, and so much more. Congratulations to all of you, Zelda. I look forward to more work and more collaboration with these good people that you call family. Thank you so very much for spending some time with us on Cinemaphile.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.